Dungeons and Dragons, Satan's Game. These are the experiences of two individuals as we fight our way through various evil and blood-soaked horrors known as D&D. Look and weep at the evil that awaits us. Will we survive the horrors?
I hope so.
Spoiler warning for those of you who dare to set foot. You will be spoiled.
Oh, yes.
But we'll see you at the D&D game. Greetings and welcome to another episode of Tabletop Horror. I'm SeptumSin. This is Kotobuki Jake.
Right.
And we're going to talk to you about the film, The Gamers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is actually something that is known to most of us. Matter of fact, this is probably the first film that we have done that really feels like a gaming group. And it's not some sort of weird, messed up cautionary tale or a weird vampire film. I don't know.
Right! This calls for immediate discussion!
But I was first introduced to this when I was at my gaming shop, the local shop where we were gaming. The original version of this has like a blue cover and it had some dice on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And it just called to me. It was expensive, but I was willing to pay for it because I thought it was cool. I had never seen a movie about gaming before like that. So I had to get it. And I was not let down. Did I introduce you to this one? Or were you there at Jack's when we saw it? I don't remember.
You had already seen it, and I think, and you suggested it.
Good film.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the physical release of this. This is the director's cut, which does have a number of special features on it. It's digitally remastered. It sounds a little bit better. We do have a weird family-friendly one where they just bleep out all the cursing and stuff. And it switches the menu out to a family-friendly looking menu, so it's kind of funny in that sense. There's subtitles in many languages. I gotta give it that. A lot of people will say that sound is impossible to get right in their movies, but apparently that subtitles are also impossible. This group is very small. They got subtitles in many languages. I mean, German, French, Portuguese, Estonian, Japanese, and Latin. Who speaks Latin?
It makes sense for that movie, though.
Yes, it does. And of course, it comes with a full feature revamping Doyle on top of it. And 6 episodes of the Dead Gentleman Productions show that they showed at the college. And 3 never before seen sketches, Bridge to the Remnant Sky, Teddy Bear, and The Search for Cold Fusion. Now, I've seen all of these. I know you haven't seen any of those.
Right.
But they must have been those last 3 episodes. But, again, quite fun. They also have a lot of their trailers, which on the original one of these, it was just the trailer for Revamping Doyle. Mm-hmm. So that's fun. And Revamping Doyle is about this vampire who is going to, like, therapy because, well, you know, he's kind of out as a vampire.
Yeah, and he's not terribly successful at it, apparently.
Vampire Hunter's hilarious, though.
Yeah.
And so this one's chock full of a lot of extras. The behind the scenes, actually there's a behind the scenes featurette that is on the original release that is not on this one. Which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
Because I don't have it. I think he has it.
Probably.
So, background. This is essentially a movie about gaming. A bunch of people in college, and from what I've heard, they actually are avid gamers. They decided to make a sort of a film company and comedy troupe called
Dead Gentleman Productions, and they did a whole bunch of films. And the one that took off...
Later retrofitted as Zombie Orpheus.
Yes. So they're still technically in existence today. Not all the same members, but at least some of them. I think Ben Lathan is definitely still on that. Matter of fact, one of the things, we won't be covering it because it's kind of adjacent, is one that they've been trying to, Journey Quest, which they've been trying to fund the latest season of today. It kind of got stopped by 2020 like a lot of things did. So, let's talk about the plot.
Okay.
Well, the plot is about a bunch of gamers in their college dorm having a game night. And they must fight the Shadow in order to rescue the
Shadow?
princess. The Shadow.
The Shadow?
The Shadow?
The Shadow.
Shadow.
So, I guess the first thing is, plot. What did you think of the plot overall?
Well, that's their in-game plot. They, in reality, they also have to fight against angry classmates and their own hubris.
Yes.
Not to mention an absentee party member.
It's a very weird ending.
Yes. But yes, I have always enjoyed this one. It is relatively simple and straightforward in terms of plot. But it's very entertaining, and like you said, it does get pretty weird at the end, though.
And writing-wise, I think it's fun. I mean, it captures the spirit of a D&D group. So if you've role-played at all, if you've done any tabletop role-playing, or you've known about it, or you know people who do it, you could definitely get a lot of the jokes here. I mean, there's one that still cracks me up, where they got the thief going in there, and it's like, I steal his pants.
Why do you want his pants?
Because I
don't
want to see if I can do it.
them. I just want to see if I can steal them.
And only in D&D. Heck yeah. And then, of course, he backstabs somebody with a ballista.
Yes.
Well, there's no rules against it. Some things are meant not to be done.
Yes. Or like the scene later where you have the barbarian throw out his back trying to lift an iron gate, only to have the elf step in, the elven archer step in and easily do it.
Yes.
Lift with the legs, Rogar, not the back.
Lift with the legs, Rogar, not the back.
Rogar gets picked on a couple of times. It's like, I'm going to get the dwarven ale. It's like, look, I only fail on like a 1 or something like that. And he's like, you fail.
Yeah.
So, a lot of fun stuff. A lot of cool stuff. You can actually, with the subtitles, pick out snatches of conversations. And that's cool. I think overall, as far as writing goes, it's very good for what it does. So acting. Well, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a micro budget film.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be AAA acting.
No. Although a lot of it is surprisingly good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't recall any of the characters not hitting the point.
Yeah.
The guy who plays the GM's a bit monotone, but it works for the character.
And you can definitely sense his frustration at the points where you need to.
Yes. So I'm not gonna be too.
I would say it's mostly the side characters who probably come off as a little wooden or underacted or overacted.
Did D-E-D-D dead.
Wasn't that the director?
I don't know.
I think that was actually the director that played Hunk.
You bastards! Thought I was dead, did not you? Well, I'm not, but soon you're going to be, because I'm going to kill you dead. Do you hear me? D-E-D dead!
But still, I thought it was fun. I mean, the woman who played the angry woman there, she was pretty good.
And also the princess.
Yes.
She's a regular. There's Emily Olsen, I believe.
Yeah. So, it's kind of fun to see that. So acting, pretty relatively on point, I think. And now, special effects. Domini Fermentum. I mean...
For a micro-budget film, they're alright.
I mean, they had a lot of cool stuff with costumes. I thought those were really good.
Yeah.
I mean, the place that they were at that looked like a tavern that was there.
Yeah.
They had a lot of pretty cool sets. I mean, there was the one where you could see the bridge, scaffolding of the bridge, but they used it. They used the scaffolding to their advantage.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately the shadow can be seen. The shadow.
The shadow! The shadow! The shadow!
But they had some really cool locations that they were able to utilize. Like that place that they used for the dungeon, the dorms, which are probably just dorms that they were in. I think that they did pretty good. I mean, do you have anything on the effects?
Well, like I said, they were pretty decent in terms of location and costume. The costume was solid. That was well done. That may have been where a good chunk of the budget went, I would imagine. And the location scouting was effective. Yes, they probably could have done a lot worse with that.
True enough. I mean, shoot, we've seen a lot worse than that.
Oh, yeah.
We still got many more to go. There's like 50-some episodes of this. Oh, boy. We got a lot ahead of us. And at the time of this filming, we have so many more to go. At the time you're seeing this, however, not so much.
You never know. There could be a spate of D&D related films that come out in the next year.
Oh, God. I mean, there's already one called The Party that's a really fun online series. The problem is it's all the way online. Well, I might end up having to record it and then slap it on a disc because they need to. But you should watch it. Watch it on YouTube. Definitely a good one.
Cool.
Some music. I remember the music from this.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, it's
pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's simplistic, but I think it definitely hits where it needs to hit.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a vaguely medieval sounding. Sounds like something you'd probably hear in a video game RPG, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, not at all.
And it is memorable.
I'd like to think that looking at it, I remember it. If it's something that we actually have, if someone plays it, I would actually think, oh, that's the theme from the Gamers. Which that's saying something. I wouldn't like buy a CD of the music, but still.
I might if it was available and cheap, but
like $1.
Yeah.
I'd buy that for $1.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'd buy that for $1.
So, final opinions. The Gamers is the movie that started me out on the quest to amass as many of these films as humanly possible. It's been a long quest, and I've managed to amass quite a few films that we are going to be covering as we go because of this. It allows me to relive some of the best times and worst times in gaming. And still, all of it comes back as fun, funny, and enjoyable. The acting is fun. The whole thing is fun. And we will come across at least one film that's going to bring out a lot of the darker memories in gaming that are not so fun. But I do think that this is going to be well worth the watch. Your final thoughts?
Well, yeah, it's a very entertaining film. It does, it has a bit of nostalgia value to it as well, and that's always nice. And it's short, which is also nice. If you're looking for just like a simple, straight kind of end of the night pick me up kind of movie. You could do a lot worse. And actually, it's almost ideal for that sort of thing. It's very much the sort of what they call the hangout, or what Tarantino called the hangout film. I would say this is definitely one of my hangout films. Absolutely love that. Yeah, it's a good one.
All I can say is syphilitic ninja vampires.
Syphilitic ninja vampires. Ninja vampires who have syphilis. Syphilitic ninja vampires. Ninjas with syphilis and vampirism. Syphilitic ninja vampires. Vampires with syphilis who practice ninjutsu. Syphilitic ninja vampires. Syphilitic ninja vampires. Tonight.
That's a different production, but
Which is also included on here. So
yeah.
But I guess we're at that part where all the fun and games stops.
Huh.
Now we have to slap a rating on this bad boy. There's 2 ratings we go by. The first is the strength and connection to tabletop RPGs. This is the rating that has that, like, how much does this pull? How realistic is this to that tabletop RPG thing? So it's a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being extremely accurate, 1 being not at all. I would give this one a 9 out of 10. I know it's a high rating. I cannot give it a 10 out of 10 because they covered up the gaming books so as to not get in trouble with copyright. So you can't get the 10 out of 10. But otherwise, I think that was really cool.
You sure it's not because it wasn't pretentious enough?
That's art. So, yes, I thought this was very accurate. I thought that down to the saving throws, down to the tables, down with the rules lawyering, everything, it just really hit solid for me. I thought this is one of the quintessential gaming films for our tabletop RPGs. So, yes, 9 out of 10, right down the line. So what do you think?
I think I can agree with that. Because I guess if you're talking about you need to be more specific about the games to get a 10, then yeah, you're right. It was not as generic as a lot of these movies are,
yeah.
but it was definitely like you had a rough idea what they were playing, but you're right. They kind of avoided going ultra specific. But in terms of getting it right, getting the feel of it right, getting the whole... I could say a solid 9 at least. Yeah.
So we're in agreement for once.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we usually hit pretty close within a number of each other.
Yeah.
Well, it makes the math real easy on this one, but we might disagree on the second one.
Okay.
Which is the strength and connection to LARPing. Well,
Yeah.
so, again, does it have LARPing in it? Does it identify itself as LARPing? How close is it to actual LARPing? So, to me, I've done this before, and I wouldn't give it a 0 or a 1 because there is technically LARPing. One could say, especially with the ending, that it was LARPing involved, but only on a technicality.
Okay.
So I give this one actually a 3.
Huh.
Because, they're in the costumes, they're doing the stuff, they're going around. Yes, it's not really LARPing because it's not showing LARPing, but it's more than no depiction. It's not just sitting around the table watching them.
Yeah. It is tricky. Like...
Because we've come close to that before with some of these others that are
Yeah.
kind of on the edge.
As far as are they LARPing in the film?
I think Mazes and Monsters is probably the only
Yeah.
one we've actually gotten to where it's actual LARPing going on. The others we've really given it more than a 0 or 1 because of technicality.
It's not, in terms of, are they actually LARPing? Are the characters themselves actually legitimately LARPing? The answer is probably no. However, you do see most of the main cast in costume for a good chunk of the film. They are acting out the story on film. So it is tricky. I would say probably. I would say 3 might be a little stingy by my standard, but maybe a 4.
All right. Well, it's not too bad. So, as we go, of course, we round up if we decide to do a 3.5 or something here, but when we do the sum, we round down. So, at the end of the day, the final scores are Tabletop 9, LARPing 3. Not so bad.
Right.
But then we have another gaming movie coming up. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
But it's another gaming movie that's more like this and less like the other stuff. Matter of fact, we're actually going to see a lot more in this vein. Either trying for comedy, drama, regardless, we're going to see a lot more closer to the trying to get the realism of the gaming and less trying to get the this is a tale of woe about how the evil gaming industry is corrupting our children. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this one.
Yep.
If you really want to get a copy, Zombie
Morpheus.
Yes. Go to their site. They have this. Buy it. Get it. Watch it. They have it streaming on YouTube. No excuse. You like gaming. I don't know why you'd be watching this if you didn't. Watch this. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Right.
Ah!